welcome to Philosophy in Pajamas podcasts. So today we're looking at, well, a set of ideas that I think might really surprise you.
I think so too. They kind of sneak up on you.
They really do. Because we're always searching for these, complex strategies for success, for effectiveness.
The next big secret, the next life hack.
Exactly. But the material we're digging into today points to something so much simpler. And honestly, it's something we tend to overlook.
Completely. We're talking about the practical philosophy of service.
And the central idea here is that goodness, and we're talking about genuine, reliable, effective goodness, it actually becomes inevitable.
Which is such a powerful word, inevitable.
It is. It becomes inevitable when your actions are focused on care and stewardship, not on conquest or performance, which is where we usually live.
Right. It's a total flip of the script. So our mission today is really to unpack this idea of the stewardship of inevitable goodness. We want to look at why shifting your whole mindset from trying to win at life to simply serving it.
Serving the life inside you and the life around you.
Precisely. Why that's maybe the most potent shortcut to finding both real effectiveness and, maybe more importantly, real peace.
I just find that core idea so fascinating. We tend to treat goodness like it's fragile, like it's something we have to constantly defend from the big bad world. But this framework suggests it's just the natural result of doing things the right way.
It is. The starting point, and this comes from the writer Rushik, is so critical. Life isn't asking us to conquer it. It's asking us to care for it.
And most of us just completely miss that memo.
We do, and we fall into what are called the two major collapse points. Two huge traps.
Okay, let's hear them. The traps that just sabotage everything.
Well, the first is trying desperately to impress the world while totally neglecting the self, the life force inside you.
So you get this shiny exterior, but inside it's all falling apart.
That's it. And the second trap.
I have a feeling this is where a lot of well-intentioned people get stuck.
I think so. It's trying to fix the world, trying to save everyone, while you yourself are fundamentally at war with yourself.
Pouring from an empty cup.
Or
a poisoned one.
Exactly. And both of those approaches, they're just unstable. They always collapse. The only work that really lasts, that generates positive momentum, is service. And it has to be directed both ways, inward and outward.
You can't skip one for the other.
You can't. The internal work has to be there for the external work to mean anything.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's start with the internal side. Serving the life within. I mean, the term self-care gets thrown around so much.
Oh, it does?
And you immediately think of, like, bubble baths and yoga retreats. But this is something else entirely. It's disciplined. It's about paying attention, but without being cruel to yourself.
That phrase, without cruelty, is everything. This isn't indulgence. It's active stewardship of yourself. It means noticing your limits, which we all have.
Right.
But then, and this is the crucial part, not labeling those limits as some kind of fundamental weakness.
And that pivot, that little mental shift, is revolutionary.
Yeah.
In a culture that sees any limit as a failure to be pushed through.
It is. It changes your whole relationship with yourself. You move from self-criticism to just neutral observation.
So if we accept our limits as just boundaries, not, a final verdict on our character, what does that act of service actually look like day to day?
It really comes down to three core actions. Three things you have to feed.
Okay.
You feed the mind with honesty. So you reject delusion, you seek truth. You feed the body with respect, honoring its needs, its rhythms, and you feed the spirit with purpose. You connect to something meaningful.
If those three things are clean, the whole system just runs better.
It becomes robust.
But I have to ask, doesn't focusing so much on self-stewardship run the risk of becoming, a little self-obsessed, a bit of navel-gazing?
Yeah.
We're always told to be looking outward.
That's a great question, and it's a critical one. But the argument here is that true self-stewardship actually prevents self-obsession because it completely transforms your ambition. When you are rooted in this clean service to yourself, ambition stops feeling like a frantic, desperate chase.
That endless grind for status or approval?
Yes, and it starts feeling like genuine direction. It comes from you.
Okay, can you break that down? The difference between chase and direction for someone struggling with their career, what does that feel like?
Well, when ambition is a chase, your success, your happiness, it all depends on external things. The market, your boss's mood, how many likes you get.
So if those things change, you're just shattered.
You're shattered. But when your life is guided by direction, by that internal service, success is defined by you. The goal is alignment, not just winning. You stop running after everyone else's approval because you're already aligned with what matters to you.
You build your own foundation first.
Exactly. You stop abandoning yourself just to get accepted. And this is a key takeaway. Powerful, lasting growth cannot come from self-neglect. It has to come from self-stewardship.
Once you're rooted inside, how you move in the world just feels different. It's steady, not desperate.
That internal center of gravity changes everything.
And that sets the stage perfectly for looking outward. This is where it gets really interesting for me. Because once you have that foundation, serving the life around you quietly shifts how you even see other people.
Yes, you stop seeing them as obstacles or as competition or as, just tools to get what you want.
And the text offers this incredible image. People become living stories walking beside you.
And just that phrase, it makes you pause, doesn't it?
It forces you to be humble. It expands your empathy in an instant. It makes you remember that every single person, the guy in traffic, the difficult client, your own family, is carrying these unseen battles.
And private victories and fears you know nothing about.
And that perception shift, it just redefines what service even is. It's not just about, grand gestures or charity work.
Not at all. The framework here is much broader. Service is defined by the quality of your presence. It's how you listen. It's how you speak. And maybe most importantly, it's how you choose restraint over reaction.
Okay, let's dig into that. Restraint over reaction. Because in our world, everything demands an instant hot take, an angry response.
For sure. So think about it. You get a critical email. It feels aggressive, unfair. The immediate reaction is to fire back, right? Defend your ego.
Escalate the conflict.
Exactly. But the service-oriented choice is restraint. It's pausing. It's recognizing the pressure, recognizing the other person might have their own story going on, and choosing to respond only from a place of care and clarity, not from a place of being wounded.
That restraint is a quiet kind of power.
It is. And that kind of intentional presence, it has momentum. It multiplies.
It ripples out.
It does. It moves through families, through offices, on the street with strangers. It just means leaving every space you enter a little bit better than you found it. Not by trying to dominate it, but just by caring for it.
I think we have to talk about the perceived softness of this. Because when we talk about service and care, people can dismiss it. They think it's passive or easy.
Right, that goodness is gentle and therefore it must be vulnerable.
Yes.
But the writing is so clear on this. Goodness requires courage, not softness. It's so easy to harden yourself, to put up walls, and then call that strength.
We've all done it, worn that armor and called it resilience.
And it does protect you, but it also completely isolates you. The real challenge, the real courage is staying humane. Staying open, especially in a world that's just addicted to speed and comparison and noise.
So service is asking you to stay open, even when being bitter feels totally justified.
And to act with care, even when the reward is nowhere in sight.
That discipline, acting without that immediate validation, that's what builds real inner authority. So what does that authority do for you when you're in a real crisis?
That inner authority, when it's built on clean intention, it's like an unshakable alignment. If your intentions come from service and not from your ego.
Not from trying to look good.
Right. Then external problems can only slow you down. They can't poison your direction. Your identity isn't tied to the outcome.
So the direction stays pure, even if the road gets messy.
Exactly. And setbacks, they stop being these crushing final verdicts on who you are.
They become teachers instead.
Yes. You learn instead of resent. You adapt instead of collapsing. This is how people get through storms without becoming storms themselves. It really raises a question for you listening. What kind of inner authority are you building? Is it one that can be shaken by trends, or is it something deeper?
And that resilience connects right to this core distinction that Rushik makes about our influence. Our words, our actions, they echo.
For much longer than we think. We have a responsibility for the energy we bring into a room, and that energy is either nourishing or it's depleting. There's really no middle ground.
When you choose service, you're choosing to nourish, to contribute, not just to consume or seek that momentary relief.
And this leads to maybe the most important distinction for long-term impact.
Your life as an offering, not a performance.
Yes. A performance is exhausting. It needs applause. It needs constant external validation to keep going.
But an offering? An offering is generative. It's given from a place of integrity.
Think about your work. If you send a proposal as a performance, you're just obsessing over their reaction. Did they like me? Was I clever?
Been there.
We all have. But if you send it as an offering, you stand by the care you put into it. Whether they accept it or not, you've done your service, your work is done.
Okay, but we have to acknowledge how hard that is. This is mostly invisible work. I mean, there are going to be days when your kindness is just misunderstood, or your effort feels so tiny compared to what the world needs. How do you keep going?
You have to trust the process, not demand the result. There's a beautiful analogy for this. Seeds do not argue with the soil. They trust timing.
I like that.
Service is never, ever wasted, even when it feels small. It's building your character. It's building your clarity long before it ever builds results or recognition.
So let's bring it all together. We started with this duality. Service inward, service outward. What's the final integrated benefit?
It works like a single, elegant system. First, serving the life within stops you from abandoning yourself just to be accepted. It keeps you rooted, whole.
And then serving the life around you stops you from needing to dominate others to feel like you matter.
You move with intention, and you end your day with a cleaner conscience, knowing you actually contributed something.
This isn't just, abstract philosophy. It's a practice. It's about small, daily choices.
It is. And the world really doesn't need more cleverness. It definitely doesn't need louder opinions.
It needs more care. It needs steadier hands.
And if you do this work, this stewardship, long enough, goodness stops being this fragile thing you have to fight for. It just becomes inevitable.
That's the whole game, isn't it? The shift from being clever to being careful, from performing to offering. Obstacles will still show up, but they can't cancel your direction.
So, the final thought for you to carry with you is this. Good doesn't need your permission to arrive. It just needs you to stay true. So ask yourself, where in your life right now are you prioritizing draining performance over a genuine offering? And what one small choice could you make today to just prioritize care instead?
A profound place to end. Thank you for joining us for this really important discussion on service and stewardship.
We really appreciate you spending your time with us. And please, if this resonated, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And if you found these ideas compelling, we highly recommend you follow the author of this writing, Rushik, on medium.com/Rushikral.
Till next time.
Stay true.